This is your only feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live on 3, and thanks for finding us and also tuning in this morning. Well, it is that season. It is spring. It's beautiful, but it's also the season where, well, everything comes. Allergies, flu, germs, and also all kinds of infections. Well, here to talk about it this morning, Dr. Darren Green is in the house to also answer some of our questions. Good morning, Doctor. Thanks for the hanky. I had a sneeze earlier, literally, so thanks for giving me yours. I'm just going to keep it right here. Doctor, what exactly are germs?
Well, germs are infective organisms in terms of they have the ability to cause infection in the right concentration. So if the volume and the colonization, in other words, if they really clump together and the load of those organisms basically impact on your health, they could cause severe disease. But we're looking at things like bacteria, viruses, fungi that are not so fun, that are actually obviously organisms that exhibit spores into the air, for example, can cause significant reactions in our immune systems. And then protozoa, which colonize the gut and can cause diarrhea and other infections.
Now, while we're talking about infections and even flu, we're going to open the line shortly so that you can give us a call on our Feel Good Breakfast Show, 083-913-3728. We're talking specifically about allergies, but I mean, we're touching on all kinds of things as well. How do airborne viruses, like you call it, or even bacteria impact on our health? How do we get it in the first place?
Yes, well, you can imagine that they're everywhere. They sit in dark places, warm places, moist places, and bacteria specifically don't need to live inside the body to survive, whereas viruses need to be in a live host in order to sustain their lives. So you can imagine if on countertops, on floors, etc. So when you actually walk through a room, you're actually causing airborne viruses and airborne, basically, organisms to start. And cleaning, dusting, for example, sweeping, things like that, all cause them to raise up into the air and then be inhaled. Obviously, things like sneezing and coughing and that kind of thing are more involved with droplet spread, you know, the actual body saliva and that kind of thing.
I'm totally concerned because the other day I was at a restaurant and I took the tray, and as I picked it up, I realized that it was still dirty. So immediately you think, you know, this is a germ because you can see it.
Exactly.
Obviously, a germ or a virus is not something that you can usually see. How do you avoid spreading them, especially in your home and an office?
That's the problem, because we don't wash our hands as often as we should, but everywhere we go, we touch things. Whether you're touching a keyboard, whether you're touching the menu in a restaurant and turning it over. If you're a doctor, even at the bedside of a patient, wearing a tie, for example, that's been proven to transfer germs. Your tie hangs over the patient and basically makes contact with the patient's body fluids or saliva, etc. And then we also speak about your cuffs, the cufflinks. So in other words, if you don't roll up your sleeves, the clothes at the area just above your hands, there's also an area where you have colonization of bacteria. But we need to wash our hands, obviously. We need to clean a lot more. And germs are certainly sensitive to a lot of different environmental factors that can decrease their load. And some of those are just things like sunlight, fresh air, for example. And then moisture content of the air also plays a role with certain bacteria.
I don't know about you, but I feel like I want to take a scrub brush and literally wash the countertops. Our cameraman just sneezed, just hearing all of this.
Nerves.
I know. But when it comes to allergies, what triggers it? I mean, how can we prevent an allergy? And immediately I think of prevention, you know, the injections and things. But before we even get to that, what triggers it? And also, how can we prevent the allergies, like our cameraman just sneezed?
Understanding what exactly happens when you do develop an allergy is quite important. Your body has an immune system with specialized cells that respond to different outside factors or environmental factors. Now, some people are hyperactive. In other words, they've got a hyperactive immune response. So being exposed to some pollen, for example, from a beautiful flower, isn't just recognized as a mild immune response, but they actually exert a significant and an overactive response. So you have over-release of histamine and other inflammatory substances in the bloodstream, which cause the itchy eyes, the runny nose, etc. So you can imagine pollen triggers things: house dust mite, Bermuda grass, weeds, dander from pets.
Even being here is triggering a lot of stuff. 083-913-3728. You can give us a call this morning if you want to ask Doctor about viruses, bacteria, and even allergies, because that's what we're talking about on the show today. But you know what? When it comes to our allergies, we've got one thing to maintain. But when it comes to our own soccer team, there's a lot of work that we need to do. Graham, what you got?